Well, the cross is tapped home, and it's the skipper, George Johnson. It's absolutely wonderful from Scott Fraser. Lehmann scores in front of the Covenant. Takes a shot.
Charlton are back at the Valley and in desperate need of a win after some very poor results. In fact, we haven't won since, what, on a Tuesday? Under the lights at the end of November. Well, tonight is a Tuesday. We will be under the lights, so here's certainly hoping. Tonight's visitors are Northampton Town, who come to the Valley in good form with just one loss in 7. John Brady's team sit 10th, 7 points ahead of the Addicts. Less than 45 minutes until kick-off. Let's take a look at what we got coming up. Well, from head coach Michael Appleton, who spoke to CharltonTV ahead of tonight's match. Charlton women went top of the league on Sunday, and goal scorer Mel Phillips will join us to tell us about her first goal for the Addicts. And we'll hear from Charlton new boy Conor Coventry as he looks to get his first win as an Addict. Well, a warm welcome to everyone watching around the world. If you haven't already, don't forget your live streaming pass can be watched and bought for just £10. It is a midweek game. You can watch the multi-camera production of today's match in the UK as well as all around the globe. Now, it's been a while, but delighted to be back in the studio. And it says here, I'm joined by the great Steve Brown and Alan Curbishley. So I'm not sure if both of you are great or it's just Brownie that's great.
I think only one of us has got a stand named after us, that's all I'll say.
There's only one MBE in my village.
Yeah, true.
Not just met him again.
Yeah.
Is he there, James?
Yeah, he's
I've got to be honest with you though, Curbs. I mean, I haven't done too many Charlton TVs, and I've been really missing it, I have to say. So it's great to be back.
You've been lucky.
It's great to be back. But the last one I did, remember, you didn't turn up till halfway through it. I thought it was going to be the same again tonight. What happened?
You've cut that fine tonight, by the way.
Don't even ask.
You've cut that double fine. If they could see how late he's in that seat.
If they could see his hair when he first came in.
How can you leave at 5 o'clock, do 20 miles and get here at like 5 to 7?
Yeah. Listen, I've come a long way, and on the train as well, and I beat that comfortably
he's
inside that time.
Anyway, we're here.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Have you missed me?
Of course.
Yeah.
I thought you'd gone missing on a missing list.
No, we keep on texting each other, don't worry. We've had a couple of cheeky...
Yeah, there was a few texts flying around last night, especially from Lurker.
Yeah.
Lurker's Rob Lee, by the way.
Yeah.
One did make me giggle. I got
It didn't make me giggle.
Let's move swiftly on, shall we? I know exactly what you're talking about. Look, Brownie, it has been a struggle big time for the team lately. I mean, fill me in. What's been happening? What's not been clicking? You've got about 40 minutes.
What a great question to open up with. We've been struggling on all fronts, really, but defensively we've been pretty dire. And that's not. I'm not just talking about the back five here. I'm talking about as a team we've struggled. If we've got the lead in games, we've conceded late goals. If we haven't got the lead, we've gone behind, and we've conceded some pretty poor goals, Scotty. And if there was somewhere to start, it would be can we just keep a couple of clean sheets?
Yeah. Well, we worked out, I think, with them, like some of these late goals, cost 5 points.
Yeah.
Goals being scored after the 90th minute has cost at least 5 points, which, on the whole scheme of things, not so much in terms of league position, whatever, but in terms of confidence, then results would have been going a long way to a bit of momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't kept a clean sheet in 14 league matches, and we've dropped the most from the winning positions, 17 points in League One, which pretty much sums up what you just said. So Curbs, obviously, it's a very tough time for Michael right now. How do you deal with that kind of situation?
Well, I think consistent team selection. Pick your side. Or your best 11 as much as you can, what you think it is, and give them a run.
What is a best 11? Because is a best 11 technically the best, or when you actually,
put them together,
it's hitting the fan, the ones with the most character?
Yeah, putting it together, all the aspects of it. But I've always thought consistent team selection brings consistent results. I was never one of them that rotated, and all the players want to play, as far as I'm concerned. But
that's why Brownie never started.
Yeah. But no, I just think that we put all these players in. It seems as if we're perpetually changing. If it ain't owners and managers and chief executives, it's perpetual change, and you know, you can't get anything going in that scheme of things.
I think we are, in terms of using the most amount of players across the season, I think we are the most in League One. And actually, you're talking about something that our opponents today, you know, they're 15 players in the last 11 games have made the starting 11. So they've rotated 4 in and out, and they're hardly ever changed. They're keeping the same side today they started last week. I think they're 2 losses, 2 draws and 7 wins. They do have a consistent 15, and they have got consistent results. So they're kind of exactly what you're
I think the biggest problem as well,
about.
Michael's come up against the same as Dean Holden, the centre forward position. You know, we brought someone in who's scoring for fun, if you like. But Chucks and Miles being out is a big hit, and I know they've attempted to try and bring people in, etc. But you know, Dean had that as well. So, you know, going into games without recognised established centre forwards. But you know, there's some things that have gone in games, and you know, Brownie being a defender, you know, last man, you know, 1-on-1. What do you do? What is the plan? And we've let ourselves down, really. I can't remember the game, what the actual opposition was, but that quick free kick in the last minute, you remember? Like,
I think it was Bristol, wasn't it?
They put the ball down, and we're still looking all over the place like that, and they play it through and they score. It should never have happened. So, you know, the defensive organisation isn't there at the moment for us to keep a clean sheet, I don't think.
Again, I feel like I'm coming in from the cold. A couple of months ago, when I was doing this regularly, Michael was winning games. I think we were like 6 points off the playoffs. It's obviously very different now. How important do you feel tonight's game is for Michael?
It's a big game for Michael. You know, the run is not good, but there's a few rumblings, and there's only one way to stop that, and that's get results on the pitch. Listen, I come in and I said that he's brought 5 or 6 players in, still attempting to bring more in. He's brought a member of staff in. I mean, if they decide to do something, how mad's that? When 6 new players have come into the club and they've signed for the club and Michael, as far as I can see. So yeah, you know, if anything does happen, we don't get the result or whatever, it's another step. I think what has been going on at this club for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Final one here then, you'd be pleased to know we're well over already.
Yeah, I guess that.
I know you always like to know that. How important is it then, and we don't know how many people are going to turn up, but the ones that do turn up, at least get behind the lads for the 90 minutes?
Yeah, I think it's easy for us to say this, but get behind the players. Whatever your gripe is, if you've got a gripe and you want to show that, show it after the final whistle, whatever the result. If you want to show something, show it then. But the players that are out there, we do need a couple of results come what may. You know, and I don't think we're relegation threatened. I don't think we're going to get sucked into that. I just can't see it.
Not at all.
I don't think so. No, I think the additions we've made, I expect us now, and I know we've got a tough February, but we've got a pretty decent last couple of months. I don't expect us to get sucked into it at all. I expect us to start to pull away from it. But if you've got a gripe and you want to make your voice heard, you know, can you do it at the appropriate time maybe? Because the players, it does affect you. It absolutely does, and you're fully aware of the negativity around you.
Absolutely. Before, after the game, even at half-time as well, but during the game it makes such a difference if the fans are behind the players or not, as the case may be, but I'm sure the fans will be. Okay, lots still to get stuck into, but let's hear from head coach Michael Appleton, who spoke to Charlton TV a little earlier.
Michael, it's been a difficult run of form. How are you feeling going into today's game?
Surprisingly confident, if I'm being honest with you. I think, obviously, disappointing result on Saturday, but the performance in the first half gave me sort of a great deal of hope and, you know, probably belief going into today's game. I think the second goal, sort of as early as it was after half-time, not the stuffing out a few of the players, especially obviously because of the run that we're on. But no, I think if we apply ourselves and approach the game in the same sort of manner as we did right from the start on Saturday, with the crowd behind us, obviously try and get an early goal and hopefully obviously take the game from there.
How important is today's game?
Yeah, it's crucial. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's been far too long before we've tasted victory, and you know, these are the type of games at home that, you know, you've got to go and win, and especially when you're on a run like we are at this moment in time.
On today's team, how are we lining up?
Only 2 changes from Saturday. Coming in, we've got Edmund Greens and Edwards Green, sorry, and Macaulay Gillespie coming in for Terrell Thomas and Lucas Ness.
And what will those 2 bring to the team?
Well, what they definitely will bring is that ability to step out the back three and travel with the ball and pick, obviously, pick the options into the middle of the park. What they are as well is that they're quite aggressive, the two of them. And certainly with someone like obviously Romari, the amount of athleticism he's got as well will help us.
Northampton Town, the visitors today, what sort of test will they pose?
Difficult one, obviously in a very good sort of run of form. I think they're in the top 10 as it stands right now, so obviously they can't be underestimated. John's done ever so well for him and deserves a lot of credit for that. And yeah, I'm sure that when they're out of possession and on that transition, they look to counter, they'll cause us a few issues.
And with so many new players in the squad, how important will the fan support be today?
Yeah, it's going to be crucial. I mean, obviously, the bigger and the better support we get, obviously, the more chance we've got of winning games of football. And I think from our point of view, we have to certainly play our part by getting them off the feet and try to start the game as quick as we possibly can. And like I say, if we can get that early goal and get everyone behind us, then yeah, hopefully that'll be a recipe for a good result.
Thanks, Michael. Best of luck for today.
OK, so 2 changes from Saturday's defeat. January signings Rahman Edmonds-Green and Macaulay Gillespie make their full debuts in place of Lucas Ness and Terrell Thomas, who moved to the bench. But I actually want to start up front, Curbs. I'm quite excited about Freddie Ladapo and Alfie May. It will take a bit of time, of course, for those two to gel, but I mean that's a potentially very exciting partnership, isn't it?
And Freddie on Saturday ran out of steam. He hasn't been playing regular, which is unfortunate. Sometimes you sign a player and they still got to get up to fitness. But no, Alfie, I think he's been relishing having a partner up there that he can bounce off of and be free to drop off and go into the channels, whatever he wants to do. That's
his best position, isn't it? Sort of playing as a second striker.
Yeah, and I think it's the one way of getting 2 strikers up there playing free at the back. So when Michael come in, this is obviously the way he's wanted to play. And now he's brought the players in. The 2 centre halves are playing today. Two midfield players he's brought in and a forward. He's actually strengthened in terms of personnel every department because he's brought a keeper in as well. So yeah, and there's people now that can't get in the side that you would have thought, them subs, you'd have thought that would be quite regular a couple of months ago. So we've got a bit of a squad, but I think the biggest problem, apart from anything, is the fact that we've been after someone else up front to help Alfie out. No Miles, no Chucks. So he's gone and acted and brought Freddie in.
Yeah. Tell us about Tyreek Backinson, Brownie, and also Dobbo playing a little bit further forward.
Yeah, I'm not convinced about that one myself just yet. I still think Dobbo will be best suited where Coventry is, and Coventry be the one slightly. I think he's just got a much better technique in those little slide rule passes down the sides of defenders in tight areas. Technically, he's got a very good first touch. He gets his head up quick and he can slide those little balls down, for wing backs breaking in behind the opposition defence and the strikers. But look, this is the way they've gone. Backinson has got a great engine from what we can see so far. He'll quite happily drop in alongside Conor Coventry. And then next minute you see him, he's breaking into the box. He was our most productive player in that first half, actually, in terms of being in the right areas at the right time. He didn't quite get the shots on target. There was a very good inside curler, wasn't there, that he just whipped round the far post, which was quite a good chance from the edge of the box. But I like what he brings, Scotty. A high energy.
I think Michael's mentioned on a few occasions, legs and physicality.
Yeah.
Legs, physicality, and all the players that he's brought in have got that.
I actually asked Mark, I sent Mark Robson a text, so tell me about Conor. And he said, this is the text here, very good on the ball, can be even more creative, but it links the game and retains possession. He's a very good player and he should do well for Charlton. So, clearly there's a big talent there.
Well, I think, and also, hearing what he said about signing for us, obviously there was other clubs interested. He was going out on loan, he was doing something, and then we've gone for it and bought him. And I think when he came in, he was saying all the right things. The club's a big club. We've got to get promotion at some stage into the Championship. We've got to do this, we've got to do that. So he spoke very, very well. And just a brief glimpses of what he's about. Yeah, he's a good passer of the ball, possession-based.
We'll hear from him a little bit later on, actually, and talk a little bit more about him. But again, is it then about the defence as well? Because you can't keep on conceding or having to score 2, 3, 4 goals to win a game, can you?
No, and we have had to do that. Well, I mean, we haven't managed to do it, but that's where we've put us in a position we've put ourselves. And actually, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer that a couple of defenders come out, and I thought we might see Edmonds-Green in a wing back, sort of a position, but you know, he's elected to put him right side of centre half. He knows him better than all of us, so you know, we'll see how he fares. But Gillespie came on and looked quite good.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of diagonals, Scotty out of the Brown playbook, 60, 70 yards on the on a sixpence. You know, quite like to see that.
The Brown playbook.
Did I say? Sorry,
Yeah, he said that.
I meant the Tommy Caton.
Tommy Caton.
What a left foot he had, Tommy.
Oh, didn't
My
he
goodness me, fantastic. Do you feel this system suits us? Suits the players that we've got?
I think it's a
Well,
system
it's
he's wanted. So
Yeah, I think it's the way he wants to play, Michael, and perhaps felt he didn't have the personnel until he's done the business and the people come in. I mean, let's be fair. I think the board have been saying for some time. I think Andy Scott done an interview. We brought players in, not for now, just for now, but for the summer. We're building. These are the sort of players we want, blah, blah, blah. So I think it's imperative that we pick a couple of results up, just to ease the pressure off. So these players that we brought in are not playing under pressure. I mean, we're talking about the size of the crowd, and I've mentioned it plenty of times. You can hear everything when there's not a lot of crowd here. And sometimes you hear them groans, even as a manager, and it affects you. But as a player, you hear them groans when you've done something wrong or you give the ball away or whatever, and then you go in your shell. And we can't afford to go in our shell, because we're playing against two teams at the Spin, Northampton and Blackpool, that are quite good. And, you know, we don't need to give them any encouragement.
yeah, prime example of that was the second goal Saturday. Like, we had a decent first half. We didn't deserve to come in 1-0 down, but when the second goal went in, tempo went. Players sort of went in within
Played
themselves.
safe.
Yeah, played safe. So you know, there's a fear factor there for sure. They know we're on a poor run, and little setbacks, you've got to stand up and be counted. And we didn't second half.
It's been like that for the last few years, really, hasn't it? But hopefully these new set of signings will help us do a little bit more than that. Okay, well, let's have a look at the other fixtures in League One today now, shall we? Bolton lost at Leyton Orient at the weekend, and we'll certainly be hoping to turn things around against the Cheltenham side that have really picked up since the appointment of Darryl Clark. Bristol Rovers have lost their last three and take on Exeter, who are just 4 points clear of the relegation zone. Oxford host Barnsley as 6th plays 5th, while Wigan face Wickham. A struggling Reading, I think struggling is an understatement as well, isn't it, against 3rd place Derby County, who are doing well. Kicks off a little later at 8 p.m. And Curbs, interesting to see Oxford and Barnsley in 6th and 5th. Now, my last game before Christmas was Charlton's 1-1 draw at Barnsley, where maybe a little bit unlucky not to win. Why do you think there's such a gap in points between a team like them and a team like us?
Well, I just mentioned that we've probably dropped 4 or 5 points in the last 4 or 5 games for these late goals, and some of them should have been dealt with. You know, lack of organisation, communication, whatever. But I think when you're talking about some of these sides, they've had momentum all season. We've been like that, haven't we? Not really managed to put too many results together, and so I'm looking at these next 2 games. They're against decent opposition, and we've got to respond. You know, because as I said earlier, the fans are unhappy. There's a few rumblings about, can we have another change? I mean, can we? It's just, I don't really talk about another manager, but what this club's gone through over the last 4 or 5 years. You know, change of owners, change of managers, change of players.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's we've got the 4th worst defensive record, and the 3 below us are in the bottom 4, and Barnsley's isn't, and that's the key difference to me. They've conceded 30, we've conceded 40 plus, and that allows them to require less goals to win a game than we require, and that's why we're, you know, I agree with Curbs. We've let in some late goals that have cost us points that would have us a little bit higher up the league, but actually across the season, we've just conceded way too many goals as a team.
Do you feel we're in relegation problems when you're looking over our shoulder?
Yeah, I do, because, you know, we've brought new players in. They need to settle down and get themselves in it. But these 2 games now, you know, Northampton and Blackpool, they're 2 tough games for us. Northampton are on a good run. Blackpool are difficult to play at Blackpool. And if results go against us, then we are looking over our shoulder, and you don't want to be playing in that atmosphere. You know, that's not nice. So I think tonight's a big night for all sorts of reasons.
And just quickly before we move on to what is a very positive thing as well, Shrewsbury got rid of their manager Matt Taylor. Paul Hurst, my former teammate, is in, and obviously Reading as well. You know, going through a very tough time. So there's a lot of clubs who are struggling at the moment, aren't there?
Yeah, and this is the sort of time, isn't it, when you see clubs think we can't afford a relegation here, so they do make their changes. You know, there's a spate in October, November, isn't there? And then there's a spate. The season hasn't started well, and there's a spate in January, February. Yeah, it's the two times a year that managers do find themselves under enormous pressure.
Yeah, should we talk about something positive?
Absolutely.
Yes. Let's do just that, because one of the real positives at the club in recent weeks has been the form of our women's team, and I'm delighted to be joined now by new signing Mel Phillis. Mel, welcome to Charlton TV.
Hiya, thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Now, you beat Blackburn Rovers 3-2 at the weekend to go top of the table. How did that feel?
Yeah, no, it was really good. Obviously, it was my first league game with the girls since joining in January. I felt like we controlled the game well. I think second half, with the weather, the wind conditions and stuff made it a bit difficult. Obviously, coming away with the 3 points, we're one step closer to that goal of promotion at the end of the season.
Yeah, you just mentioned about your first game there. I mean, you're on loan from West Ham. How are you finding it at Charlton?
Yeah, no, it's been really enjoyable. I've been there for a couple of weeks now, so obviously first week was just trying to settle in and meet the girls and the coaching staff, and I was just really excited to get out on the grass. I think that we're playing some really good football at the minute, and obviously the first half of the season, the girls put themselves in a really good position in the league, so I'm really excited to kind of continue and help them out in the second half of the season.
Now, in that Blackburn game that you scored, and I've been told that you wouldn't come on unless we showed it. No, I'm only joking, of course, now. But look, let's have a look at it. Talk us through it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I just like to join attacks where I can. Obviously, a good cut back from Mel there. It did take a deflection on the way in, but again, if it hits the back of the net, I'll take it. It's numbers on the board, and obviously help the team get the win.
It really doesn't matter if there's a deflection or not, and I have to say, it's probably going in anyway, Mel. That's what we'll say there, and they all count. You look on the score sheet at the end of the game, and it says your name alongside it. Take it, simple as that. Good to score your goal, of course, but Kate Longhurst also has been getting a lot of praise for her goal. That was some goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I've actually seen Kate do that before, and it's the fact she ends up doing kick-ups in the penalty box, but she's just got good awareness of where the goal is, and I was saying to her she needs to teach me how to celebrate, because hers was definitely loads better than mine. But yeah, she's a really passionate player for sure.
You could definitely see that in the celebration as well. And she's someone you know well from your West Ham days, haven't you? How much has she been talking about that goal? Is she still running around at the moment?
No, I mean she was really happy, because obviously she said she'd not scored in a while, so some way to do it. But yeah, no, Kate's a great player, and I've learned a lot over my time that I've played with her at West Ham, and obviously when she moved to Charlton, that was something I'd kept an eye on, because being able to play alongside her again is really special. So I appreciate her.
I'm sure that's the same right back at you as well. Now look, the games are coming thick and fast, and you're at the Oakwood tomorrow hosting WSL side Brighton in the Continental Cup. How much are you looking forward to that one?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good game. Obviously, these are the type of teams you want to play against, because, you know, as a group as well, we spoke about the football we're playing and aspirations to be in the WSL. So tomorrow night's obviously a really good opportunity to go out and showcase why we should be in that league, and the potential that we have to progress and kind of compete with these teams. So yeah, I think the group's in a really good place, and should be an exciting game tomorrow.
And then, of course, it's the small matter of Crystal Palace, who are third as well. And obviously, you know the rivalry between Charlton and Palace. How much are you looking forward to that one?
Yeah, obviously, it's a huge game. I think, you know, going into the weekend, obviously, got another win in the league against Blackburn. So we've got momentum. Hopefully, off the back of tomorrow's performance as well, we can kind of carry that momentum into the weekend. Palace are a good team. They play some good football, but so do we. So I think it'll be a good contest, but I've got full belief that we'll be able to get the 3 points.
Absolutely, but just 3 points separate first and fifth. I mean, how exciting is this league? How important is every league match? And do you think it could go right to the wire?
I do think so. I mean, if you look at the points, it is incredibly tight, so it'll probably go right down to the last game of the season. But I think Charlton will definitely be in the running, and we're going to give everything we can to make sure we finish where we are at the minute, come the end of the season. But these are the games you want to play in. It's a good kind of pressure, so we're going to aim to set out and deliver.
What would it mean for you? I mean, obviously you've come on loan from West Ham, but has the club talked about what promotion could mean for Charlton?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Obviously, Charlton have been performing well in the Championship for a few years now, and been in and around kind of promotion and pushing for that. But yeah, I think it'd be massive for the club. And I also think, since joining the group, I really do think the quality of players there, the quality of the squad is there. We spoke about it this week in training, that this squad is not necessarily a Championship squad. There's definitely possibilities there of being able to go and compete in the WSL. So it's definitely within reach if we can set out and kind of get the job done, really.
Does that mean there could be a possibility of a cheeky permanent move then from West Ham to Charlton?
Oh, too early to say yet. Too early to say. My aims are to try and just give everything I can to make it happen, because these girls, they've given everything. They work as hard as they can every single day. So look, first sight is to make it happen, get promoted, and we'll go from there.
Very good answer, Mel. You can see you've been well schooled in the media side of things. Listen, thank you very much for joining us on Charlton TV. We wish you all the very best of luck for tomorrow and the rest of the season as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Curbs, great to see the women's team flying high, isn't it, at the moment?
As you know, I have a vote for Manager of the Month, and we've got a bit of a lunch early February to pick this month's one.
Have you?
And I do have to, when Karen gets picked, I do have to, or I give her my pick, I do have to underline it ain't favouritism. You didn't ask me.
Have you ever not voted her for her, by the way?
Yeah, of course. You have, there's other contenders, but she won it last month, I think, and in for a shout this month. You didn't ask Melissa if she comes in with Conor. They must be travelling over the same way. Share the load.
Might do.
Eh?
Yeah.
I wonder if they go Dartford or Blackwell.
Well, I tell you what, after 40 years, still haven't got any advice off you. I know that for a fact. I mean, but Brownie, just one promotion place and 3 points separate first and fifth. I mean, that's an exciting run-in, isn't it?
Yeah, and Sunday's game's massive, because I think Palace have got a game in hand. They're free scoring. They're the top scorers in the league. And if we can win Sunday, even with a game in hand, they can't catch us, and it would be a massive, massive win if they could do it. But they are away, and they are up against the league's top scorers, so it's going to be a tough one.
OK, before then, make sure you can get down to the Oakwood if you possibly can in Crayford tomorrow to support Charlton Women's against the WSL side Brighton. Tickets just £6 for adults, £2 for concessions, £1 for under 18s. And then, of course, as we just touched on there, Karen Hills' side will need all the support you can give them away to Crystal Palace on Sunday. OK, let's talk about the January transfer window now, shall we? It's certainly been a busy one, with 7 players coming in and a few leaving as well. Let's talk about one major player who has left the club. That is, of course, Corey Blackett-Taylor, whose contract was set to expire. And look, Brownie, given his contract was expiring, his desire to leave the club would at least be pleased. They've got what was described as a sizable fee for him.
Yeah, I mean, he leaves for nothing. And quite honestly, I never found myself in that position, so I can't comment. But you've got a big club coming in for you. You've got 6 months left of your contract. You can't say his head wasn't turned. Yeah. It had been turned. So it then comes down to...
on performances on the pitch as well, or not?
I thought he drifted away from it a little bit towards the end.
Okay.
Right, but understandably, if you've got a move like that, and you've got an agent in your ear every day, and he's going, look, Derby are in, and are you gonna risk?
So then even more the club had to do a deal.
I think so. I think it's about taking as much money. I mean, Curbs will know better, but I think surely it's about taking as much money as you can get, because I think if you look at the striker from Peterborough, has he just gone, do you know what? I'll wait. And I'll get whatever, no fee for me in the summer, and I'll get someone to put that on my wages come the summer. Now, do you see what I mean? So I'd rather take the money now, I think, because I think if there comes a point where an agent will go, just sit tight, and I'll get it on your wages in the summer. So I think it's best we took the money.
I agree, but what do you think, Curbs?
I just think that some players take that risk. They could get injured in the next 6 months, their last 6 months, and then they don't get a move, and then they've not got a club. So it's very difficult, but you can't imagine someone that has got a deal sorted out at the end of the season, or he's been told there's a deal at another club at the end of the season, given his all in the last 6 months in training and whatever. In case he gets a knock, in case he gets injured, a bad injury, it's very difficult time. So I think we've done the best. The only thing that, we've lost 2 players in a year, Vasaki on one side and Corey Blackett. They were dangerous for us, them 2 players, and that's a lot of goals and a lot of assists gone. But there's still time in this month to replace him.
Yeah, having said that...
Perhaps Vasaki.
Really?
Well, he ain't playing for Palace, is he?
Interesting.
They got another decent
Phone your mate up,
listen, they got another decent
the other day.
Yeah.
I'll have a word with him
they
as
got
well.
another one there as well that everyone's talking about, a forward. So, yeah, I mean, there's certainly people there that we know that we can call for sure.
Absolutely. And actually, the system we've got at the moment probably doesn't suit Corey anyway. In sort of like call it a 3-5-2.
Yeah,
but,
that's it. Yeah.
But he put out a nice message yesterday, and he'll be certainly remembered positively for his contributions.
Well,
when you think about when he first came on trial.
Yeah, but when you think about it, he came on trial and we've took a chance on him, and he's repaid us in terms of what he's done on the pitch. And as Brownie said, there's a few quid in it that we got as a fee. So goes in the pot. But he ain't let us down, has he?
No,
since he's been in the club.
No, he hasn't. I think he's been a very good player over the last couple of years. Lewis Ward arrived yesterday and played for the under-21s today. He's arrived as goalkeeping cover following the departure of Sam Walker to Bradford. Brownie, important to have goalkeeping cover so you don't over-rely on outfield players who think they can go and goal.
Wouldn't have needed him back in the day. Yeah.
They could have just put his money to your salary.
They wouldn't have done that, would they? He would have. No, hold on. I can convince him to stay for next to nothing. Put that on my wages.
But cover is important, though, isn't
Massively.
it? Massively.
Yeah.
Well, Isted's fit as well, isn't he?
But one injury and you're short.
Yeah.
So it is probably the position out of any other that needs a double cover for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not deadline day just yet. 7 signings made. Strengthening anywhere else? Where would you go?
Well, it depends if someone comes in from one of ours. I mean, there's lots to talk about Dobbo, who's got 6 months left as well, apparently. What's going to happen to him? And if he doesn't sign for us and doesn't leave the club, then you hope that he's the sort of person that will give 100% if he's asked to play. It's a difficult situation, isn't it? I'm not sure what has happened with him if we've offered him and he's turned the contract down. I think there needs to be a little bit of clarity on that.
Yeah, I think he's been subject to a bid as well. A foreign club from, I think it's Hungary. So, that's an odd one because that's a family changer. That one.
I don't see him going to Hungary.
I don't personally.
I think an offer has been made. Whether it is too late, I don't know. But I think an offer has been made.
To George. Yeah. Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
But it goes back to what we've just been talking about. So if you're coming towards the end of January, George is still here and he's only got 6 months left. Goes back to what Curbs was saying. Is he really going to go into that 60-40 against for you?
I think it depends if you've got like Corey had a guaranteed club waiting for him, and really from the summer as well.
Yeah.
So it feels strange for you and I to say, you're not going to try because we always would. But but I understand what you're saying.
It's not trying. Don't want to get injured.
It's subconscious as well, Scotty. It's
you
subconscious.
Don't quite give it up.
It's not you go out on the pitch going, I'm not going to make that challenge.
Yeah.
You look at it and subconsciously go, oh, I'm not favourite for that. So you'll hang back a little bit. It's the same. It is kind of the same when you're playing, when you've been thrown in for a cup game. Honestly, when you're not, you sort of, I'm not throwing myself into that like I would if it was.
Is that not your opportunity?
Well, you knew, not mine. I knew I was coming straight back out.
It's always
every week, isn't it? It's every week.
I'm
sorry, it's every week.
It's always the injured soldier, isn't it?
I missed the glass half.
I must admit, George is that sort of player that I think he'd be playing exactly the same way because he'd want to try and attract someone at the end of the season. But it's not ideal having your captain with 6 months left, is it?
No, it's not. And my point is, I think if anyone does have 6 months left and still going to give it 100%, it will be him.
That's a fair point.
And also, I think if you've got a club, maybe you can be subconsciously not quite at it. But if you haven't got a club, you're playing for your future. Right? As simple as that. Yeah. Strong under-21 side today as well with Terry Taylor, Conor McGrandles, Corey Anderson, Nathan Asimwe all playing. We lost though, didn't we?
I think so, 2-0.
Pan Cameron, Chuck Zanike close to return to. I mean, there's definitely competition for places now. Could this be something that could save Michael?
Yeah, I think that what Andy Scott said a couple of weeks ago was we're building. You know, perhaps this season is gone, obviously the playoffs, etc. So we're building for next season. We're bringing players in to give us the strongest squad possible for the start of next season, so we can start off well. And you know, so I don't think possibly it could be the end of our business. There's only a week left, but things do happen in that week. But I think all the players that have been brought in, certainly the permanent signings, look okay, and they're here for the next season.
Yeah, and you touched on it as well, with Miles being injured for long. I mean, it's good to see Chuck's coming back. Ladapo being brought in, I think it's going to be very important, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Chuck's is back on the training ground, isn't he? So we should see him be available to at least bolster up the bench. But yeah, I think I don't know how the fair play thing works. I mean, do we not need to ship a couple out to get the? I don't know how it all works. Squad. If I'm brutally honest, I don't know how it all works.
Fraser?
Yeah, that's fallen through.
Yeah, so we've still got Fraser, and we've got people out on loan.
What are you saying with the Chelsea of League One? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
we've got a big squad. We've got a big squad.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the topics, or on the topics of new signings, Terry Smith spoke with midfield general Conor Coventry a little bit earlier on.
So, Conor, thanks for joining us. You've been here a few weeks now. How you settled into life at Charlton?
No, good. It's been easier. It's a great bunch of lads, and yeah, I've been enjoying it, and just looking forward to getting more time on the pitch and getting some better results now.
Probably already answered this, but what was it about Charlton that appealed to you and convinced you to move here?
Yeah, I think there's a real project underway here, and you can see that by the ambition of some of the other signings we've signed as well in the window, and can't discount how big the club is as well, and it's something I want to be a part of, and I think in the coming weeks and months we can really take this club in a different direction.
You say big club, and you're right, but comes that with expectation levels, and we've been a little while without a win. As a new player, do you feel that coming in?
Of course, I think, you know, the expectations where we should be, and especially in the league table. If you look at the league table, we're well underperforming, so we know the pressure that's on us, but I think it's deserved, and we're looking to put it right.
The amount of new signings that we've made up to this point, did that also sway your judgment as to coming here?
Yeah, of course. I think, like I said, you can see the ambition from the other signings and some real good players, you know, who have played higher and have also won promotion from this league, and ultimately that's going to be the goal here. So yeah, definitely. How's
the training been in the run-up to tonight, and what sort of threat do you expect Northampton to pose?
Yeah, good. Obviously, we haven't had too much time since the weekend game, so it's been tough. But yeah, we know they're a good team in some good form as well, and yeah, it's going to be a tough game. But we want to take the responsibility on us to make it our game and try and get all 3 points.
Cheers, Conor. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Gerbs, he's impressed you so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah, I'm with Brownie. I'm not quite sure where he should be playing, because he's possession based. I prefer Jules to be in the deeper role.
Me too.
Because he does so much work, which perhaps goes unnoticed, George Dobson. But one of the big things he does, he tidies up, he gets that last ditch tackle, and he helps out defensively. I think Conor's a bit more going the other way and sees the pass. Not saying George don't, but he sees the pass. He tries to play people in the final third. So, yeah, I think it's a good signing.
Have you playing a part in scouting him? Is that right? So little birdie's told me you played a part in scouting.
Conor?
Yeah.
No, I have scouted him in the past when I was at Stoke.
Okay.
And multiple scouting reports on him, because what you do is you do a general, and then you get another bit of feedback, you go again, and it gets more detailed and detailed as you go down and watch him more and more. So absolutely nothing in coming here. No, this was when he was much younger.
Okay, so what were your thoughts then?
In terms of when he was coming through their youth system and breaking into the 23s, because I was finding players for Stoke in the under 21s and under that could develop into Premier League players at that time. So in terms of I was here, and then you have layers like that, and I definitely passed him on to the next layer to have a look at. I thought he was worth monitoring, as you say, and progressing up to the next level. And there's like 3 stages, and then it will go to the top man. So it's quite layered scouting, and I did my initial assessments and thought he could definitely offer something. Listen, he's very tidy in possession, great technically, and that's why I think when we say he could be higher up the pitch than George has an excellent range of pass, but he's long range passing from deep. He sees balls in behind and he can execute 60-yarders. Connors can do that. He's a lot sideways, get it back. He moves the ball around quicker than George in small areas. He's got the little flick round the corner. But I don't think George is quite as good as Conor at
In the
higher
final
up the
third.
pitch.
In the
Yeah,
final third.
yeah, and that's why I'd flip them. But look, at the end of the day, you know, Michael sees him every day in training. He knows what he wants. He knows where he wants the players in possession. If I had a criticism of Saturday, second half, we were so slow in possession, tempo-wise. You know, and we didn't move the ball quick enough. And I think that is down to our midfield three. Backinson was excellent first half, disappeared. Conor got subbed off. Our midfield sort of lost its way a little bit in the second half.
It's nice that Mark Robson, you know, has recommended him and said nice things about him. And they're the sort of contacts that you need, aren't they? You know, Robbo at West Ham, Dean Kiley at Palace, whatever. You know, you need them when you're out there looking for loans.
Absolutely. Just a reminder for those watching at home on YouTube and Twitter, get your live streaming pass for today's game. Just £10 to be able to watch Charlton TV's multi-camera production of today's game. Remember, anywhere in the world, not just outside of the UK, but inside this evening. Got a few WhatsApps, actually.
Well done.
Thank you. Question from Steve. Are you all concerned with the lack of width in the squad? Struggling to see where the service for the forwards will come from?
Yeah, I mean, the width is going to be offered by your wing-backs, and it's not an uncommon formation now. You know, everyone's doing this box midfield as well, and that requires wing-backs to offer you the width. You know, I can understand the concern there because you've lost Corey Blackett-Taylor, who was an out-and-out wide player, but we've not really had the balance that well. We've been playing Miles out on the right, we're playing Alfie out on the right. That's not ideal.
So do you feel the wing backs that we've got
they
will
have
supply?
to get high and forward, which requires a little bit of possession deep, which is probably what Dobson and Coventry are there for. One or two passes to allow our wing backs to go from a defensive structure to an attacking structure. But yeah, I mean, we're not alone here. Most sides are playing wing backs and three centre halves, and it's those guys that have to offer the width. And if they're not, then you know, one of your strikers ends up drifting out wide. So, look, it's a natural thing to say when someone switches to wing backs is, are we, you know, and they have to provide that, but you have to keep the ball long enough for them to be in that advanced position.
Do you think we're strong enough wide? You mentioned about Jez going last season, Corey's gone now.
Yeah.
Two very attacking players.
Yeah, but that was in a 4-3-3. Michael prefers this three at the back, five across midfield, if you like. So I think out of all the players in the side, them two wing backs, the emphasis is on them more than any other department, I think, because they have got to get themselves forward. Corey Blackett struggled defensively, didn't he?
Yeah.
And perhaps really didn't want to do that side of it. So Michael, this is the way he wants to play. He's brought in players accordingly. We'll have to give him, see if it works in time.
I think Tyler's more of a wing back than a full back, so this should suit him. Tonight we'll have to wait and see whether he can.
I think that was the issue, that they saw both our full backs as wing backs.
Yeah.
I think that's probably, you know, they've been brought in to play as wing backs, I think.
Yeah. So the players coming out, a couple more messages. Any chance of a studio shout out to Cranbrook School boarders who were there supporting you guys? So to everybody at Cranbrook School boarding, hello. Hope you enjoy the game. Hopefully we can get you 3 points. A big hello from Curbs, Brownie and myself. And from Simon on WhatsApp. Hi Scott, can you wish my wife Julie a happy birthday? She's agreed, listen to this, she's agreed not to go out to dinner tonight, but instead stay at home and watch Charlton.
You've got a keeper there, mate.
An absolute keeper. In fact, he's punching.
I don't think Alfie would have done that.
Oh, no chance.
Absolutely zero chance. Okay, so what are we thinking? The vibes, you know, how do we get 3
Well, it's a
points
very
here?
small crowd, which is what we was expecting. There are some of the fans voting with their feet a little bit, but no, it's going to be a difficult night for us. Make no mistake, because of the atmosphere, because of the pressure we're under. We need a good start. We need a really good start.
I think a high tempo start. We did play all right.